UFC 322 heads to Madison Square Garden Saturday, a massive card with two titles on the line. And for the first time in UFC history, two double champions have the chance of getting crowned on the same night. Both challengers in the main and co-main event are attempting to become two division champs. One of whom being Islam Makhachev, who made weight Friday, coming in at 170 pounds, challenging welterweight champion Jack Della Maddalena, who weighed in at 169.8. For more, I'm here with CBS Sports combat analyst Brian Campbell. BC, Makhachev, the former lightweight champion, moving up a weight class to challenge Della Maddalena. How does he look as he jumped up weight for this one?
Oh, he looks fantastic. You want to talk about putting on muscle the right way. And I did talk to the former lightweight champion this week at Media Day about this topic. And he said this 10-month layoff, the second longest of his pro career, has perfectly allowed him to put on the weight, as he calls, quote, the right way. That means he believes his speed, his power will carry up in the new weight class. Obviously, Jack Della Maddalena, a full-size welterweight and a tough out at that, not just champion in this one, is going to be a stern test, but I think Islam Makhachev looked like $1 million in the face-offs this week. I'm expecting a huge and incredible fight Saturday night.
Yeah, and BC, you mentioned he's a full-size welterweight, but despite holding the title, Della Maddalena enters as the underdog in this one, with the crowd seemingly against him as well. Take a listen to Thursday's press conference.
Excited for the challenge, and I look forward to it. I'm excited for this on Saturday night.
I was about to ask that. What do you make of the kind of frosty reception you have here in New York?
Say that again?
What do you think of the kind of frosty reception you have from the crowd?
I love it, you know. I love this. This is the atmosphere I'm looking forward to Saturday night. It's going to be a good night.
So Jack Della Maddalena has the odds against him, the crowd against him. He seems to be embracing it, but BC, still not the position you'd expect to be in your first title defense. How do you expect Della Maddalena to deal with that?
No, and talk about trial by fire and looking to defend the title in the sport's deepest division. Now you get the inclusion of Makhachev here, and obviously he was able to cut right to the top of the line here. Look, Jack Della Maddalena will be fine. It is just interesting to see those boos, which probably speaks more to the idea that Islam Makhachev has quietly ascended to one of the biggest stars in this sport, regardless of which city he's fighting in. And certainly all of the historic elements about this bout are circling Islam, from the chance to become the 11th double champion in UFC history, not to mention that he can equal Anderson Silva's vaunted record of 16 consecutive victories with a win. Not a lot of people from the fans' media side talking up Jack Della Maddalena's chances, but here's an interesting footnote. Every fighter I talked to this week, including 3 in this division, believe this is Jack Della Maddalena's fight to win. And the reason is not just that he's tough as nails, he's got some of the best boxing in this sport, but also for a guy not known for his ground game, he has proven an ability to get right back up. He stuffed all the takedown attempts from Bilal Muhammad in their title fight over the first 3 rounds, was able to stuff 3 of 5 to close in the championship rounds. He trains with a jiu-jitsu specialist in Craig Jones, world-renowned, not to mention his countryman featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski. So JDM will be game. He'll be ready. I don't think the underdog, the booing, will matter much for him. He had a very unique path to get to the title, had been injured, had a lot of layoffs. When Shavkat Rakhmonov, the #1 contender, got hurt, it did open up a window for Jack to come in. And what did he do? He seized that championship by force, taking it from Muhammad. He'll be just fine. The real question, I think, when you match these two up isn't so much about size. It's whether Jack Della Maddalena on the ground can prevent the submission from Makhachev, who just has one of the most complete games. The reason, right, why he has been pound for pound king, or at least in this discussion, for so long. But I think even though those odds are wider than maybe their face-off suggests, this still feels like the more skilled fighter is Islam. He's just got to go in there and prove it in the new division.
Right, because as they say, styles win fights, right? But in the co-main event, Zhang looking to become the second female to be two-division champion in UFC history, something only Amanda Nunes has done. Now, Zhang Weili made weight at 124.6 pounds Friday as she challenges Valentina Shevchenko, also weighing in at 124.6 for the lightweight title. quite the bout between the #1 and #2 pound-for-pound women's fighters. So, BC, how do you think the jump in weight will impact Zhang Weili, if at all, in this fight?
She looks like $1 million, as you saw on the scales, really put on the weight like Makhachev, the correct and intelligent way. And you want to talk about a historically unique and fruitful matchup here. Look, I don't know if this is Amanda Nunes versus Chris Cyborg from back in 2018, which is probably the most important women's fight in MMA history. But this might be the two most skilled female fighters coming together that we've ever seen. Shevchenko at 37, a two-time champion in this division. Oh, by the way, a former bantamweight title contender, just the same. But Zhang Weili has had two very fruitful reigns at strawweight, moving up in weight now at age 36. The key about this matchup is they're just so evenly matched. Both are complete fighters. Both are fighters who, over the years, particularly in their 30s, have really worked to iron out any issues in their game and evolve. And for Weili, that certainly was her ground game. She came on known as an aggressive and powerful striker. The real question, though, is not just the moving up in size against Valentina, who, as I mentioned, is a former bantamweight title contender. It's whether these two evenly matched fighters, it's what truly separates them. And for Shevchenko with the size advantage, I think she also has the wrestling advantage. And for as aggressive and powerful as Weili is on the feet, Valentina's counter-striking is always on point. We saw that against Manon Farreau and her last title defense. They may be up there in age from the standpoint of how we normally look at it, but these two are still operating in the midst of their prime. This is a all-in historic matchup that we can't wait to see. Women's MMA at the very highest level. I just think Shevchenko has that tiny advantage. This is her division. She is looking to equal Amanda Nunes' record for the most victories in title fights with 10 on the women's side. Buckle up for this one. It should be skill. It should be action. It should be everything we want in championship MMA.
Yeah, BC, plenty of intriguing fights on this card on Saturday, including what is now the featured prelim bout between Rodolfo Vieira and Bo Nickel. Nickel will try to bounce back after his first career loss, a knockout at the hands of Reinier de Ridder. Now, this fight had originally been slated as the main card opener, but was recently bumped down after a pair of uninspiring performances by Nickel. He's now fighting on the prelim card for the first time in his UFC career, but is he humbled? Let's take a listen.
I think that the only thing I would do differently is, I made a pretty arrogant comment on Ariel Helwani the first time I went on that, of course, I would be on the main card. So a lot of people have given me a lot of flack for that. And it finally, your guys' wishes were fulfilled. So be headlining the prelims. So congratulations, everybody. But no, honestly, everything I would do is I would do the same, and I'm grateful for it.
All right, so laughing it off, BC, you wrote this week on CBSSports.com that it's referendum time for Bo Nickel. What should we expect from him on Saturday?
Look, he has the right opponent in Rodolfo Vieira in his late 30s who juggles wins and losses often, not a huge finishing threat on the feet, to maybe show the evolution that we need to see for Nickel. Let's not forget, one of the biggest prospects in this sport's history just a few years ago after that run at Penn State where he was a three-time NCAA Division I champion. He got the showcase opportunity twice on Dana White's Contender Series and had some early finishes. But now that we're stepping up to true title-level contention, or at least where he was in his last fight against Reinier de Ridder, we're seeing the holes in his game. He gassed out in that fight. He was stopped by knees to the stomach. He didn't react well to being hurt. And even the victory before against Paul Craig, he got a lot of flack from the critics, including a booing crowd, for the fact that he didn't shoot any takedowns in that fight. And he won it with his striking, but he didn't win it impressively. I'll say this about Bo Nickel. One of the hardest workers in this game, one of the humblest people. I told him straight up at Media Day this week, this feels like a referendum on the future of your career. Is that fair? He said, absolutely it is. He has all the right answers verbally. He's going to have to show us, though, that he's really taking the striking seriously. His wrestling is out of this world. He's got a great submission game, but sometimes he puts himself in situations where his experience level or the skills that he has shown have not met the moment. This is the right opponent to bounce back against, but Bo Nickel's going to have to go out there and prove to us that all that hype was real and that we are not done with the Bo Nickel experience. One loss isn't everything in MMA, especially. You can recover from that, but only if you learn those lessons. It's Bo Nickel's opportunity to prove that at the world's most famous arena tomorrow night.
Bo Nickel saying all the right things, but actions speak louder. We'll see how it all goes down. BC, thanks so much. Brian Campbell will keep you up to date with all the latest leading up to UFC 322. He'll join us post-fight Saturday night right here on CBS Sports HQ. And starting in January, Paramount Plus is your new home for the UFC. All numbered events and fight nights will be streaming live on Paramount Plus with select marquee fights simulcast on CBS.